Hello guys, kept you waiting long enough, huh? And I was just like, hey, well, we're gonna be getting into our first round of action right here, right now. And this is actually gonna be very interesting because this is the first salvo, the first beginning here in the Aldai Weekly number 35. And it will be the Malaysian Civil War. It's Ranger taking on Neutrals, it's PVZ coming our way immediately. It's something gonna be very, very interesting to see with the pecking order of the Malaysian scene. But many can say already Ranger has the advantage, Neutrals in the meantime more on the community side, and has been working to get himself better and better into the game. And here we go, guys, with our map plans right here, right now. It will be these three maps in order. Eternal Empire to start things off, Evergreen for second, and Zen on the third. Bans are down below, and seems like we are ready, set, and raring to go. Let's get into the action, let's get into the fray, and let's get into the matchup. This is the Aldai Weekly number 35, and we are going to be getting into some SEA action yet again. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and feels good to be casting some StarCraft yet again. I have the weekend off today, guys. For some reason, it's like I didn't get any real big gigs today, and I'm just like, whew, take a break, take a breather, and chill out before all of this. So I get to do my more usual stuff on the weekend. And well, one of them is the Aldai Weekly. But first things first, introducing our players on the top right immediately. It is our red Protoss Ranger. So Ranger was the champion last time, if I remember correctly, but was beaten back by Mr. Nux on the first round. That really was a little bit of an upset in terms of the bracket, but it's just such an even matchup to begin with. So, you know, no qualms there. It happens sometimes to the best of us. But on the other side, his opponents on the bottom left, representing the Malaysian flag there, and then gonna be that green Icky Zerg Neutrals. So I've told you guys the story before where Neutrals was the one who basically plugged me in to the SEA scene. And, you know, it's really nice of him to just be tagging me from time to time, be like, hey, can you cast this, can you cast that? But, you know, I'm a busy boy sometimes. And I do wish I had more time for a lot of things. But, you know, when I am able to do some StarCraft, I do just enjoy my time here and now. So, within the 2-minute mark, we already see that's a 6 Zergling push. It is a pull for us here for Neutrals, actually playing the aggressor. And honestly, if Ranger is not paying attention to this, he might get caught out in the open. Now, this is a little dangerous because Ranger only has the Zealots right now. It will be needing to just try and get a Chrono Boost out on one of them. Interesting enough, though, Neutrals is not going for the pylon there. He knows concentration might put him at risk. And that is going to be one Zergling going down. Now, when you only do have the Zealot immediately, it's a little bit of a struggle because of the fact that they're not ranged units. They are going to be forced to stay there, and, well, as you see, the Zerg is already poking at everything and anything. In the end, though, Neutral's going to lose everything there. Couldn't get down the core, couldn't go down for the pylon, and Ranger going to be able to get his second expansion first. So natural here for the Protoss being protected is really good for him because he's gonna be able to out macro the Zerg at the very start, and when the Protoss can come up on ahead and set things up on their buildings already, it really is a fast start for the Golden Armada. Anyway, though, we are gonna see 2 cores. Okay, so 2 cores. I think Ranger was expecting the Cybercore in front to die, and at the very least, you know, he can double pop air upgrade. So I would actually be laughing if he suddenly got a air tech army, like a hardcore Armada army up in the skies because of his double Cybercore. But Neutrals is not letting up whatsoever. He's really sending in those Zerglings as much as possible. But then behind all of this, he's trying to drone on up, but he's still behind on that worker count. Early aggression with the Zerglings do mean that your minerals are going for combat units rather than your workers. And one thing to note also is Neutrals does have that metabolic boost, but that's all he got. Only went for the 100 gas. He really wants to try to go for the Zerglings to get on through to the wall. But with Ranger right now set up in such a good degree, it's going to be very difficult, honestly, for our Zerg player. Anyway, it seems like Ranger transitioning into the Robo Facility. Wants to play the aggressor. He can go for the 2 base all-in by this point because he can really punish Neutrals for the early aggression in behind. In the meantime, though, we are going to be getting into the match facility here and there. Let me just check out a few things on the socials and make turn off Facebook so we don't get that ding notification out of nowhere. But it seems like we are all set and ready to go. So hopefully, guys, we are going to be able to get a co-caster today. Someone did toss down their interest. and we'll see if when he's free, he can just hop on into the rest of the broadcast. But hey, if you guys do want to cast with me, feel free to just say so. It really is just a pleasure to have many SEA representatives here and now in the Odd Eye Weekly. But as we say that, seems like the Warp Gate is online. Warpers are going to be into play as well. Here we go with the Warp Gates going to be used up. And it seems like for Be Like Water, for Mr. Ranger here, he is going to go for the Warpers to start things off. Because it is going to be when ahead, go Dark Shrine. See, it doesn't rhyme too well if you don't say when behind. But, you know, when in doubt or when you just want to punish your opponents, go for those DTs. Now the DTs, of course, very strong if your opponent doesn't have detention. And by very strong, I mean absolutely game-breaking. But when they do have detection, you can still pack a punch here and there. And since we did see Ranger basically get up ahead at the very start, he is still right now with 45 workers to 26. The thing to note right now is he can actually do this, and he won't really be punished the same way. Now, Pylon being tossed out here by Be Like Water, Ranger wanting to go for the expansion on the third. And, well, for our Protoss player, he is just basically walling on up, and he's defending really well onto base. Now, when you're on 2 base and where you're stuck at it for quite a while, that's when usually you want to do something cheeky to be just absolutely crippling to your opponent and their economy. But by this point in time, Neutrals is going to be playing the siege game. He wants to go for the fight. He wants to just brawl onto this wall. But the Ranger in the meantime has these 2 shield batteries, and he's going to get that Immortal very soon. The Sentry though is out in front, very dangerous. He doesn't want to use the force field as of yet. Bile right now connecting. The Sentry going to be in front right there with the Stalker, and waiting things out for the Bile to come on in before dropping down that force field. Really patient here from Ranger. Focus fire right now onto the shield battery, courtesy of Neutrals. Here comes the Zerg just funneling on in, and it seems like the first Cybernetic Core will go down. But wait, there's more. There's a second one in behind. Here comes the Ravager right now, going for the hits. Pylon will go down, but luckily for Ranger, he has already set up those non-Artosis pylons, really setting out that power grid to begin with. But one thing to note though, Ranger is losing out in space and time because Neutrals is really committing onto the army. Still though, Ranger is going for more and more of those units. Carap is going to be going up very soon, but at the same time, it's the DT destroying everything in behind. 25 drones have gone down, and this is game, set, and match. That's why Neutrals is so desperate to get on through. Beautiful positioning with the buildings here and now for Ranger. And this is going to be GG. Ranger will take that victory. Well deserved with the DT punish. There you go. Invisibility equals invincibility. And that is going to be the first game done and dusted already, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, we're just quickly going through a few things here and there. I just started the broadcast, so we're just setting up also along the way. And yeah, well played there to Ranger. I love the aggression there for Neutrals, but he really just didn't get value too early on. And that kind of just hampered his economy too much. Ranger was just like, I'm going to go TT, and you can't really do anything about it. And Neutrals like, okay, I'm going to try to go for the base race, the base trade. It's not going to happen. And well, victory. Going to go over to our Protoss player. So, second game right here, right now, gonna be Everdream LE next on the list. And Ranger just only one away from taking this one. In the meantime, Neutrals gonna be looking for a little bit of vengeance here on Everdream. Can actually play the aggression again, but I feel like it might be the same old story like we saw on Eternal Empire. It's even easier for the Protoss to just wall in, so I would love to see Neutrals actually whip out the more macro playstyle and try to win out against Ranger there. But Ranger, of course, he's kind of on the comeback streak in a way. Honestly, for much love to Ranger, but he's quite an emotional person, and well, at least he's really having a lot of success right now. That is really helping his psyche as well as his gameplay. But anyway, we are gonna be getting into game number 2. Everdream gonna be the dream we are going into, and now it is time to get into another match. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we go again for another game of StarCraft 2 action. Gonna be looking to try and figure things out. Gonna be trying and see what's gonna be going on into this one. As here and now, introducing our players yet again. On the top right, it's our red Protoss Ranger, and his opponents down one map, the green Zerg Neutrals. So you know, for Neutrals, something to note actually from earlier on, he was trying to go for the macro after a little bit, and well, for him, I do believe that it is good to try and get that second base up and running. But by that point, you kind of know you're already behind and you're just trying to catch up. And you can't really half-ass what you're really trying to do. Now, what I saw from neutrals though is he did go for a little bit of macro to try and keep up the economy on 2 base and basically all in on Daks. But unfortunately, like I said, as we've seen, the Dark Templar able to infiltrate, able to blow everything up. And that was what it was all about. In the meantime, for Ranger, he set up the DT, he defended really well, and he was so confident actually. He was just able to hold the line as much as possible with really prime warp pins. And one thing you have to appreciate for Protoss players has to be the fact that when they use building placement to their advantage. So yeah, kudos to these two players. So Ranger, if I remember correctly, is Grandmaster. In the meantime, Neutrals is at Middle Masters, if I do remember their MMR. But hey, you know, it is what it is. And in the meantime, we are going to see the hatchery come out first here for Neutrals. Pool going to be there as well. And it is also going to be an instant third hatchery here and now for Mr. Zerg. Now, this is very important. Will Ranger be able to spot this? He sees the second, he goes on top, and he goes to the main base. But he notices there's one thing missing, that queen. The queen is missing, so Ranger might have the idea that something is a little amiss, because you do want to have, basically with your hatcheries, those queens, third hatchery costing a few more minerals, and something to also note is there is no 6 Zerglings to start things off, so Ranger right now is scouting around, feeling that something is amiss, and yes, sees the third hatchery here and there already. So really macro focus here now for Mr. Neutrals. But for Ranger, he can actually go for the punish right now. He's going for the adept immediately. He's going to go for the warp gates. Neutrals so spot things out. Here's the first adept waiting at the wings. And something to note that I believe this wall is not complete on the right hand side. But hey, so Stargate is going to be the opening here and now for Ranger. Going to be very different from the Robo Facility earlier on. This is going to be looking for harassment onto those middle lines and see what the transition is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the Adept Phoenix comp that might be able to win him out. And yes, there you go. So it's a Phoenix going to be into play. This will just harass these Overlords to impunity. Neutrals in the meantime knows that he needs that movement speed on pretty much everything right now, or he's going to be in a spot of trouble. Because he did go for 3 bases immediately. One thing he has to do is connect these bases with creep and just tumor his way to victory potentially to defend all the way on the outskirts of his side. Anyway, wait till battery charge comes in, you know. Yeah, I'm just like waiting for, you know, the next patch. It's been a while actually. We've been very stable onto the meta, and I think the biggest change recently has been bio to mech to bio again for Terran. They're, you know, they're just trying to decide. It feels like sometimes it's a coin flip. Then the Terra gods are like, hey, what do you guys feel like playing today? And apparently the answer there is bio. But hey, right here, right now, gonna be going into the brawl yet again. We see Ranger sending in one of these units one more time, flying on around. And meantime, the Overlord, of course, will basically be bothered, but that's a Sentry Hallucination. And it looks like for Ranger, he's just trying to bait things out, but the Oracle is already exposed, looking for a few beams here and there. Good micro to just seesaw his way onto the extractor line, and it's bothering the gas, and immediately we see a huge drone wave here from Neutrals. Now, potentially here, that if Ranger is able to have adepts in position, he could potentially gone for a punish right there, right then. But it doesn't happen because none of those units are in position. It's really all about the Oracle right now. But in behind this, we are going to get that Templar Archive, so it must be the adept push that we are waiting for. But hey, Queens are set on up by the Extractors. I like positioning here for Neutrals. He's really making sure everything's fine. And Dandy Spore Crawler comes up onto the third base as well. And in the meantime, second Oracle right now flying on in. Now with 2 Oracles, you can do 2 things. Split up the harassment on 2 bases, or just focus fire heavily and destroy any kind of drones before your Oracles do die in the first place. The DPS on the Oracle against light units is ridiculous. It's just like when you have a juice pack and you really want juice and you just slurp it all. That's pretty much what happens to the HP bars of those workers. But hey, we are going to get that Gildred Constitution. Seems like it is going to be a 3-base aggressive play here from Neutrals. Roaches going to be looking to have that pure Nectar Essence to destroy the opposition. Revelation though here from Mr. Ranger. He's really playing to his namesake. Gonna be the Lone Ranger into this one, getting scouting information that he needs, and he's gonna be looking to react in one fell swoop. Now, We are gonna get a Void Ray here, a very, very supportive unit right now. Not like Wings of Liberty way back when we're just playing Void Ray and that was the show. It's very different now. He does want to have a little more reinforcements against the roaches, and especially if neutrals just stay on this and he's able to avoid those battles, the Void Ray can really get maximum value along the way. In the meantime, of course, you can never go wrong with the Immortals, and it is gonna be Ranger going for his third base along the way. Now, a little dangerous though, because this is a push out already from neutrals, but it is very, very calculated here by Ranger, because he has that revelation. He's following things around. And if I do say so myself, he will have a really proper Warp Gate cycle in just a bit. And that, especially neutrals though, getting hampered so heavily by this Phoenix. Already has 2 kills, looking for another one. Really bottling those Overlords along the way. But hey, right here, right now, I'm gonna be going for the brawl yet again. Seems like we have... there's a thing there. There's a thing there for some reason. I love it. But yeah, so basically I was trying to do a little mod thing, logo thing, but it didn't really work out because I didn't have the file format. But for now, Ranger's working out really, really well right here, right now, into the middle of everything. The Immortals gonna be looking to stay behind everything else. That just dodging the ball along the way. Focus fire pretty heavy here from Ranger, and he will wipe out this attacking wave. And GG's gonna be called. Ranger will be able to take this victory. Neutrals is still fighting though, even though he called the GG. Gonna be looking to go for a few more hits here and there. Maybe preemptive. He thought he could actually go for the fight, but there you go. He knew the attack didn't work. He knew that Ranger would go for the counter attack, and that is Ranger moving on to round number 2. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, another game done, and congratulations to Ranger. He moves on to the second round of action here and now in the Odai Weekly. Now, of course, Ranger, as we've said, one of the best, if not the best player right now in the Malaysian scene. So, not a surprising outcome. Better luck to neutrals into the next one, and you know, it's always a learning process along the way. But here we go with our map recap here and there, ladies and gents. And yeah, 2-0 there, Ranger taking care of business on both Eternal Vampire and Everdream. Zen not gonna get played, and pretty much advanced that you can expect with Purity and Interesting, and Golden Wall saying, no, we're not playing that at all. But hey, it is what it is, and that is our first game, the Might of the Protoss, being shown in full force, and Ranger, really one of the best in SEA, a representative for the SEA Games last year, and he's looking to make a pretty good romp here in the Aldai Weekly number 35. So, we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We'll look for a second game. I'm gonna reset my game as well and get rid of that logo, because it's kind of like 2014. Wow, that's a long time. That's a long time. But we will be right back. This is the Aldai Weekly number 35, so don't go away. Use the commands if you need a little more information, and you can also check that match arena out if you want to drop $1 for free using the code AD35. So yeah, I'll see you guys in just a bit.